A very good evening, a warm welcome to Two Full Tosses after what feels like an age, or at least a fortnight, which in certain places is an age, and it is so good to be back with power, for which we thank Eskom, and we also thank our very proud sponsors of tonight's show. Two Full Tosses this week is brought to you by Devon Conway Immigration. Have you watched one too many episodes of Carte Blanche and feel the need to leave South Africa? Well, Devon Conway Immigration will get you to New Zealand, get you a brand new house, a car, a job, and a place in a national sports team of your choice. Devon Conway Immigration, getting you safely to New Zealand. A very warm welcome and good evening, Alan Committie.
I missed you, friend. It was so lovely to see your beautiful visage. I wasn't thinking I was going to use the word visage on a Monday night, not in Cape Town, not in Tokai, but that's the nature of the show. Any words will do. Lovely to see you. I'm glad you have power. We're back now. We can do this. Our guest, I believe, is the same guest that we lost last week, is with us again. The excitement is mounting. It's tremendous.
It is indeed. And I've made sure my visage, or as we say in Afrikaans, which is our first shared language, visagi, or mooi, and looking right and ready for a really special, one of the premium all-rounders in South Africa. Indeed, world cricket. Forget your Ben Stokes. Throw away your the Australian with a strange name, Marcus Stoinis. He's really interested in him. We've got a real deal tonight, and this excites me, Alan Committie. It does.
I know it does, and you're not easily excitable, or excited, or exciting. I'm thrilled.
I was excited though. This week we saw a wonderful story of a young man who left the strife of his home nation, travelled across the ocean in a boat, arriving on the shores of New Zealand with simply a backpack, a few belongings, a mobile phone, found his way into the local village, and several years later, now playing for New Zealand. Devon Conway, there's a musical in that. It's such a beautiful story.
It's a tremendous story, and it was, thank goodness for that tremendous story, because the actual test match in which that story took place might be one of the duller affairs of the last 4 days. And what a sadness, because I got quite excited, as you know, and I'm no doubt you did too. But because we are true cricket connoisseurs, I don't know if you were the same. Yesterday, I watched every single delivery of that quite pointless second and third session, right until the end. In fact, the last hour, I just kept thinking, surely at the end of this over, but surely at the end of this over. And they didn't. And I quite like the fact that they didn't. We just pushed through because that's what we do. And it was tremendous.
It was that premise that surely the other team is going to get bored of this before we do. So we'll bowl another. We'll face another over, and we'll face another over, and then you'll get bored. No, we're not going to get bored. We're going to make you bored. And the rest of them.
Right. And let's see if our spin bowler could pitch any one of his deliveries, just one. But no, I don't care. We'll give him another over to bowl more full tosses. Just tremendous. But still, cricket at Lord's, a lovely thing, made me happy in my heart.
There we go. Kevin Peterson, Devon Conway. There we go. Lighting things up. And lovely for New Zealand to have some cricket success now that they can no longer play rugby. There's a lot of cricket coming up. There is a series in the Caribbean, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But the two reasons people tune into this, one of them is to see who our very special guest is, and is she a special guest tonight? But the other is to find out who Alan's lost legend is. I know that around the world, people are sitting in front of laptops and iPads, and in the case of Peter Maritzburg, fax machines, waiting to see what comes through. We'll reveal it a little later in the show, but give us a hint. Who is our lost legend this week, Alan Committie?
Well, there's the picture. It's slightly blurred. It's a little small. It's in the background. Do you recognize that very large forehead with a slightly curly mop behind it? That gentleman is one of our lost legends. He's no Lee Barnard. That I can tell you almost immediately, in case you were guessing. But he is a lost legend. If you know who he is, why don't you tap in your answer? Just type it in feverishly with your slightly stubby hands, and we'll see if you're right in a moment or seven.
I would suspect that is somebody halfway through getting their makeup on for a role in Star Trek. That bar that you find on a distant planet.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's Vin Diesel just before he broke out and really took the world by storm.
Yes, Vin Diesel's cousin Morris, the rather unsuccessful plumber. All right, who is he? I got no idea. Maybe you do. If
Really?
you do, put it in there. No clue. No clue. I expect you might have made this person up.
We struggle to find pictures of this man. So when you do see the actual picture, that's not going to help either. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
I suspect he was sort of vice captain of Plumstead in the early 80s. Anyway, we will find out. We will also find out, Alan Committie, a little later on this week, how we are prepared for test match cricket. A little bit of a break. The team have made their way off. They've been locked up, poor things, in a 7-star Caribbean resort, preparing for the test match. Dean Elgar at the helm, new look to the team, lots of youngsters. I think it's all terribly exciting.
It is. And if you follow any of their Instagram accounts or indeed Cricket South Africa, lots of great pics and people out in the sun and exercising and going through the motion. It's all very exciting, quite thrilling. I just hope that this is an opportunity for everyone to come together, new talents. I mean, I'm positive against any previous information. I am positive and I'm kind of looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a fun tour.
I'm confident. We have got fabulous fast bowlers. We've got loads of cricketing talent, some of which needs to translate itself a little more than perhaps it has over the last year or two. But I'm excited. We have test cricket. And the great thing is it is Caribbean time, which means we can settle in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
perfect.
In the case of me in Johannesburg, 3 hours before the working day ends. In the case of you in Cape Town, 4 hours after it's ended. And pour a stiff drink, settle back on the couch, and prepare to watch 7 hours of 2.1 to the over and the Caribbean sunshine.
Cannot wait.
It is super, super exciting. All right, I think we can skip not watching the IPL because we've now not watched that. Although it does look as though it's coming back and going to steamroll over all sorts of other things. I would like to ask you, and this might give you a clue if you don't already know, as to our guest. How excited are you about the 100?
I don't know. I think I am. I'm excited because it's new and interesting and different and strange and it's created a bit of controversy and buzz and people. I mean, obviously Michael Vaughan likes it, but Michael Vaughan likes anything that's strange and ports controversy. So I'm intrigued. I really am intrigued. I'm not quite sure what to make of any of it. It irritates me ever so slightly that they try to change words and give different terms to things. But, you know, if it makes it bright and breezy and exciting, then no, I'm not going to enjoy it, probably.
All right. Well, we do have some expert advice on it. We can get that in a moment. But before we say hello to our very, very special guest joining us from the Eastern Cape's only internet connection, and I'm super excited about that, let's go back to our Star Trek character as we find out this week who is Alan's lost legend.
This week's lost legend, I mean, he's no Lee Barnard, that's obvious, but perhaps had the greatest cover drive of all time and played for Northern Transvaal for many, many years. And you know him, you can't see it by this picture, as the delightful, brilliant, enigmatic, and very slow runner, Roy Pienaar. There he is, curly top Pienaar with slightly more hair. It was just starting to pull back there. Look at him looking so relaxed, almost as if he's not interested in cricket at all, which, to be fair, is sometimes how he looked in the middle on the cricket field. This is the pace at which he ran runs. He would just sit once he'd hit his cover drive, and the other batsman would run both runs for them. So the other batsman would run backwards and forwards, and that would count as a single. He's brilliant. I loved Roy Pienaar growing up. This man was majestic and calm. He was our David Gower, dare I say it. Of course, a right-handed version. Just fantastic cricketer. And just to show you how we struggled, these are the only two pictures we could find. And then we went onto his social media and we got this. Roy Pienaar, public figure. He doesn't have a face. There we go. Born 1961. But he's no Lee Barnard, but he is a brilliant lost legend and deserves our shout out and a huge acclaim. Roy Pienaar.
Roy Pienaar dug up, well, not really dug up because there wasn't much to dig, but the barrel moved and under it was found the remnants of the career of Roy Pino, who I'm sure will evoke some great memories from many of you. All right. Well, from a lost legend to very much a found one, and she firmly qualifies as legendary. She has been one of South Africa's finest cricketers for a decade or so. She is brilliant with ball in hand. She's brutally effective with the bat, and she is one of the finest all-rounders in the game today. Please say a very warm welcome to two full tosses for the first time to Marizanne Kapp.
Oh, hey!
Marizanne, I have to apologize because I phoned you last week from the darkness of my home to say, Marizanne, I'm so sorry. I've got no power. We can't do the show. And I didn't even tell you this, Alan, because I know you would have had the same response. But I heard nothing on the end of the phone. And then I just heard, Alan, a single tear just running down a cheek and then dropping onto an old copy of Wisdom sitting at her bedside table when I told her the show was cancelled. So I'm so glad we're back. I'm so sorry we missed you. But Marizanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I actually fell asleep after you messaged me last week saying that Eskom got the best of us. So I apologize for that.
No, don't apologize. You're one of the few people to fall asleep after Dan's spoken to you. Most of us just start to doze off in the middle of one of his sentences. So you've done very well.
Thank you very much. Tell us, where are you? What are you doing? And how are preparations going for the 100?
I'm currently at home. To be honest, I'm not too sure when we leave for England anymore. I think Danae told you guys 2 weeks ago that we were going to quarantine in the Maldives. And then literally that next day, the Maldives got put onto the red list.
Oh.
We were going to go to Egypt to quarantine there. And then 2 days ago, that got put on the red list as well.
Wow.
Honestly, I've done my visa, but I have no idea when I'm leaving or where I'm going.
That is horrible. I'm trying to think, Alan, we were talking about this the other day. We were looking at countries which aren't on the red list. So this might help you, Marizanne. I know Sudan is not on the red list at the moment. I believe Syria is not on the red list. So that could be an option for you. Venezuela, that's not on the red list. These are looking promising. There's some hope for you, Marizanne.
I doubt it. Hopefully within the next week, we will know where we are going. We're literally sitting and waiting to hear what's happening.
So that makes you're making me anxious now. It's ridiculous. These are tough and strange times, I guess. So what do you do to alleviate some of that? Are you able to get out and do some practicing and hone some skills, or is it hard without kind of being amongst others? And
no, myself and Dana, we've been training, but it's difficult because now you're nervous because you don't really know when you're leaving or where you're going, and then it's a new format as well, so you have to worry about that. Where I'm someone, Dana's all chilled, where I take my cricket very seriously, so now I'm already worried if I'll get to England on time, or because when we left for the Big Bash last year, we literally got there, did the 2 weeks quarantine, and then it was like 2-3 days then you played. Where I told them this time around, I can't do that. I feel like I lose rhythm. You lose your mind in the hotel as well. So I'd like to just get there as soon as possible, just so I can settle in and obviously find out more about this format, because I have no clue how it works.
I have to be honest, I have visions of you. So I look up, I'm at home, and in the evenings I might watch Netflix. My wife will watch a book, or we have fairly quiet evenings at home. I've got visions of you and Danae having the most epic games of corridor cricket to like 2 a.m. Nobody giving anything, just furious, stuck in. I think it would be awesome.
Not at all. I'd probably still try things like that, but Danae's like, when we are home and I watch too much cricket or I speak too much about cricket, she's like, it's finished now.
Wow, really?
Oh dear. A life down in the Eastern Cape, diversion from cricket for just a moment. I was looking through some of your more recent Instagram pictures. There was an amazing picture of you building a house on top of 3 rhino. So I'm not sure if you're moving in with them or you've just started a little sanctuary or you're saving them from evil people trying to export them to Vietnam. Are you building a house in a rhino park? What's happening there?
Yeah, we're building a house in the Kragakama game park. So we're
Wow.
quite excited for that. Yeah, but now unfortunately with all the tours and stuff, I think we only get home in December, so the house is going to be done, and we won't even be here to move in. So yeah, but annoyed with that, but yeah, very excited. Can't wait for the house to be finished.
That's
Which
amazing.
of course leads very nicely, Alan. A perfect segue. You and I couldn't have done this better. This leads to our competition this week, where one family of 25 can win the chance to move into Marizanne and Dane's house for 6 months. So answers on a postcard to the usual fax number, and I think I'll be entering that competition as well, Alan.
Absolutely. And the question is, to win the competition, can you find a picture of Roy Pienaar from anywhere in the last 5 years? I just don't see it happening, but good luck to you. Let's source it. Marizanne, did you ever see Roy Pienaar? You're very young. You probably didn't. Do you remember Roy Pienaar at all when you were growing up? And no, you see,
I've
like
never heard that name in my life.
no, it's you see, he was great. No one remembers him. He definitely is lost, even though he's slightly legendary. So, who are the people who inspired you when you were growing up? And give us a little idea of how did cricket kind of become part of your life, and who were the people that you looked to that kind of inspired you into the game?
I grew up a bit of a tomboy, to be honest. Kicked the rugby ball. Tried to play a bit of rugby with the boys, obviously when I was very young. And then the area where we lived, there was a lot of boys that stayed in the street where we lived. And obviously my cousin stayed quite close as well. So he would come over and then they would usually play cricket, and that's where I saw it. And then I wanted to join them and started to learn. I actually bowled leg spin like Nicholl when I was very young. I don't know how I did that or when, but that's something I remember. But yeah, I just started like that, and then I started with a bit of indoor cricket. And then when I was 13 years old, I remember my mother took me by the hand to go and see the school principal, to ask him if I could please join the boys team outdoor cricket at school. I think I was probably the first girl in Port Elizabeth to join a boys team. And yeah, after that, just never looked back.
And how was playing with the guys? I mean, that must have been incredible. That's brilliant. That the school allowed that as well. That's great.
Yeah, it was scary at first, but
Yeah.
at that age, the skills are the same. Like they weren't too quick and they didn't hit the ball too hard. It's only when you in high school where the gap really gets so much bigger. So I really enjoyed it. It was a new challenge for me, but I believe till this day that really helped my cricket. And even I think when I was about 19 or 20, myself and Dane joined the Eastern Province Men's Academy as well, where we were actually in the academy with Andre Norkia, Eddie Moore, those people, and I believe that really helped my career. It was scary. Yeah, it's all fun and games.
So you've obviously got previous here then, Marizanne. Would you be willing to make the big step down, yourself and Dane, to maybe go and play just for one World Cup for the men's team to try and help us finally win a World Cup?
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Well, hopefully the women can do it first.
Yes.
Opportunity. I believe obviously the men are struggling a bit at the moment, but understandably so. They have a lot of new faces and stuff, but I feel like we have a settled team, so it should be us to do it next. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's not that easy, eh?
What is the program for the rest of the year for the women's team? I know obviously you go off to play 100. What happens after that?
We have proposed. Nothing has been finalized, but I think there's one or two outgoing tours to the West Indies possibly, and I think India might come here. But again, we were meant to tour England 2 months ago, and it just got cancelled. So nothing has been.
They were nervous, Marizanne. They were scared of you. Scared of you.
It's so
English.
unfair. It's so unfair because now that our team is actually so settled and probably playing the best we could play now, none of the tours are happening. But hopefully, if everything works out from now on until next year, I think Feb after the World Cup, we should have quite a lot of tours.
Cannot come soon enough. I see a couple of people watching. Jill Welsh saying cricket's never too much talk about it. Well, we agree entirely. In fact, we're looking at making Two Full Tosses a 24-hour channel with just myself and Alan starting as soon as we have enough data, which we're saving up for. And Michelle Cavarnos, who watches every single week. Hello, Michelle. In grade 3, I played mini cricket and never hit a ball the whole year. So there we go. You are basically Stuart Broad's batting career for the last 10 years. So well done, Michelle. You are in good company. Give us the secret here, Marizanne, because we watch, take the away series to Pakistan. You were missing some key players. You were playing in a very different part of the world conditions-wise. It wasn't in the easiest of circumstances with COVIDs and pandemics hanging over people's heads. And yet out went South Africa and were just brilliant. And yes, you're talented cricketers. Yes, we can see you're really good at what you do. But there just seems to be something else, something about you guys as a team, as a squad, where you come together and just magic seems to happen.
I think it's like I mentioned previously. We are such a settled team, and I remember when I first started, when I made my debut in 2009. It was our dream to win a World Cup, and I think a lot of the girls that actually made their debut around that time is still in the squad at the moment. So that really helps a lot. I mean, we've got, I don't know how many players that's already played over 100 ODIs for their country. So I think it's for the first time now, actually, even if I look at my own cricket, I'm there where I realized, like, if I go bat, it has to be a brilliant ball that's going to get me out, because I'm so confident in my talent at the moment now, because I've played so much cricket. I think you just reach a certain age or stage in your career where you know what you want to do, you know what your job is, and how you're going to get over the line. So I think as a team, we have a lot of senior players or people that has been in the system for such a long time. And I think that's why now everyone's starting to perform. Where in the past it was always a Danae that had to carry the team, or a Shibi or someone like that, where now it's, if you have 5-6 people picking up their hand, it's someone different every game that performs. And I think that helps a lot.
Yes, it certainly does. Tell us a little bit about going over to Australia. You went over to the Big Bash. Obviously, there was the language barrier you had to overcome, but then the opportunity to play with the best women's cricketers in the world, and not just play with them, but thrive. I mean, you were miles better than most of them. How much fun was it? And how much did it mean to you as a cricketer to almost say, well, you know what, Marizanne, you've now really arrived as a professional cricketer, being taken over, paid some decent money to play on the biggest platform there is at the moment?
It's an amazing opportunity. Firstly, I'm very privileged to have been playing in the Big Bash since it started. I've played over there for 6 years now. It helped the women's game and my game a lot, because now you see, because everyone, when I grew up, we in South Africa, honestly, there was no role models for us. You only heard about your Australias and Englands, where now for the first time we have people that are role models as well. So when I started playing in the Big Bash, you would see the big names and see, but hey, I am just as good, if not better than them. So I can play a bit. And I think there, the confidence, even coming back to the South African team, we have a lot of girls that played over there, where I think the same with the girls, they start to realize, hey, but I'm just as good as you guys. It's not just the big names. I am the big name. And I think that helps a lot as
You're
well.
A huge name, Marizanne. Huge name. Let's get this right, please. It's very important. Huge name, and rightfully so. Oh dear. I think there need to be more posters, Alan Committee, of
I agree.
Marizanne Kapp. And this leads me, I have an idea, just because I know you've got somebody you need to go and collect from the train station shortly who's joining us on the show. But we talked off air about songs. We need more songs in cricket and more songs around our stars. So I'm going to phone a good friend of mine, a guy called Kurt Darren, and I think we need a new version of Captain, which we need to spin around. I got the lyrics yet, but yeah. Captain Marizanne. We're working on. It's a work in progress, Marizanne. But I think this could be a chart-topping single that pays musical tribute to the greatness, the thunderous cricketing greatness, the global greatness that is Marizanne Kapp.
And the nice thing is if you're hot and you're playing in India and you're sweating and Captain is doing her business and she's getting hot, she just pulls out a los lappy and before you know it, wipes her face and you're on your way. Tremendous, fantastic. What a thing. What a thing. I just don't know who this Kurt Darren is. I've never heard of him. But hey, you can't know everybody.
All right. Before this degenerates any further, I believe you have a guest to collect. He's going to join us very shortly, Alan.
I'll see you in a bit.
You do that. And while Alan nips off to get his guest, Marizanne, we have a quiz each week where we fire 5 questions off. I think she got 3 out of 5, which is like a double A plus if you're in matric in South Africa, but otherwise is only just a pass mark. Somebody done very well. I think Darren Goff got 4 out of 5. Alan Lamb got 4 out of 5. JP Duminy got 1 out of 5. We try not to mention that every single week on the show. But it is a sports quiz. It is a cricket quiz. Are you ready for the great cricket quiz, Marizanne Kapp?
I'm not too sure. I might just join JP there, but I'll try.
All right, let's fire away. 5 simple questions for you. Although the first one, I think the first one's the trickiest, so we'll get that one out of the way nice and early. You are the first South African ever to take a hat-trick in a women's T20 international, as you'll remember with great pride, as do we as supporters. However, you were also part of a hat-trick. You were part of the first ever hat-trick taken by a West Indian in T20 cricket. Do you remember who the West Indian bowler was who claimed you as part of her hat-trick?
It's not Daly, maybe?
And now sticking your head round the door to ask Dane for help.
Not Chanel Daly.
It is not Chanel Daly. It was actually Anisa Mohammed.
I was in between the two of them.
All right, so Nisa, okay, so 0 from 1, but that was a tricky one. So let's go a little easier, I think. Now, this might determine whether or not you're sleeping on the couch tonight. You have taken 129 one-day international wickets. It's a phenomenal number from just 115 games. How many wickets, though, has Dane taken?
130?
100. You're getting taken out to dinner tomorrow night. 130 is spot on. Well done, Marizanne. Congratulations. All right, 1 from 2. Dane has indeed taken 130 one-day international wickets. That's 259 just for the household, which is quite phenomenal. All right, sticking on the subject of wickets, because you've taken so many of them and are such a fearsome bowler. In the history of one-day international cricket, who has taken the most wickets overall? Who's the leading wicket taker in women's ODI history?
Fitzpatrick.
Is that your final answer?
I think so.
It's not. It's actually Jhulan Goswami.
Who's second? Is she second?
Ooh, I'll have to check for you. I will check while you're doing that interview with our next guest, and then I'll come back to you. And you'll get a retrospective 1/4 point if she turned out to be second. For now, though, it is 1 from 3. Your 4th question. You made, as you mentioned earlier, your debut in 2009. It was against Australia. It was a game that you lost despite your best efforts. And it was a game in which only one South African crossed the 50 mark? Who got a half century for South Africa on your international debut, Marizanne Kapp?
Shit.
Rack that memory.
I have no idea. The captain, Griselda.
Griselda is not correct. It was actually your opener. I think she kept wicket that game. Trish Chetty.
I didn't even know she played then, to be honest.
Dobbs scored 58 in that game. All right, we're 1 from 4. Let's see if we can get you past JP Germany. This is a visual question for you to wrap up, Marizanne. I'm going to throw a picture up here. I'd like to know, who is this World Cup winning captain?
I have no idea.
Would it help you out if I told you she lives in South Africa?
Oh yes, she's with Northerns, right?
I'll need a name.
I'm thinking about the media thing that came out, but I can't remember.
Using that old PS bat to smash one back at a square. 3.
Smithies. Karen Smithies.
Karen Smithies.
Okay.
All right, and that, of course, wasn't a phone hurriedly making its way away from the screen. All right, there we go. 2 out of 5. So you beat JP Germany, so you can take solace in that. So congratulations, Marizanne. Not a bad effort. I'm going to go and research that question on who took the second most wickets. But while I do that, you might need to take a deep breath here, because something special is about to happen, Marizanne Kapp. And I know a lot has happened to you in your career, which counts as very special. But this is another level altogether, because as I briefly say goodbye to you, I'll be back again shortly. I would like to hand you over for an audience with one of the greats of South African cricket. He is the Life Vice President of the Griqualand North Scorers and Umpires Association. Please say a very good evening, Marizanne Kapp, to Johan van der Walt.
Baie dankie, it's a groot eer. This is a great honoration. Thank you, man. Thank you, Daniel. Marizanne, goeienaand. Pragtig, man. Don't laugh for me, Popal. This is serious. I don't laugh for your face. You got a beautiful face. You can also take me for also at my face value. Dis is my tande wil uitkom. Ek haat dit. Kyk, dis 'n pragtige naam, Marizanne Kapp, op die on the Africanometer, which measures how Afrikaans is your name. It come in at 8.7. My vraag is dit, my question are this. Have you got het jy tweede naam? Het jy tweede naam, Marizanne?
Nee, ek het nie.
Yeah, so that actually drops it. It comes down to 7.7. So it's very sad actually for the bigger Afrikaans community, but that's fine. We're going to let that slide. It's lekker om dinge te kap. Ek het jou gesien speel, dan kap jy die bal lekker. I don't know when you Marizanne it, but that's a different story. Tell for me, wat is your hoogtepunt if you now look back on your career, on your career. Sorry, I say that sometimes the words just roll inside my teeth. On your career, when you look back on the things you've done, what is die hoogtepunte for you? Because you scored a number of great hundreds, you've taken a hat-trick. For you, what were the great moments?
I think it will probably be more a team thing. Just the 2017 ODI World Cup in England. I think just the way we performed there and the way I performed there with the ball. I think myself and Danae were top 3 wicket takers at that World Cup. So it was just a memorable time for us.
Beautiful, man. Pragtig. Kyk, ek gaan nou vir jou 'n bietjie kort vragies vra. It's speedy, né? So you don't have to think. So you must imagine for yourself that you're now like Herschel Gibbs. No thinking, you're just going to answer the questions. Okay, just one, like this. Okay, as jy gereed. Premier all-rounder for you. Question number 1. Bowling or batting? Choose one. Go.
Bowling.
Good. Beating England or beating Australia?
Australia.
Yes, dis reg. Mooi. Ben Stokes of Jason Holder?
Ben Stokes.
Okay, we'll accept, but I'm not happy. Facing a vicious bouncer or a very speedy Yorker?
Yorker.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, net. I know from when you grew up, you had a vast array of sporting skills for you to choose now: netball or athletics.
Netball.
Mooi. Okay, a reverse sweep of a ramp shot.
A ramp.
Mooi. Ian Botham of Kappeldorp.
Ian Botham.
Yeah, no, that's reg. Okay, this is a tricky one. I want you to think about it because it's not easy. Are you ready? Rachel of Monica or Phoebe? You got to choose one of the friends. Which one are you going to choose? Monica. Monica. Just mooi. Yeah, you got to choose Monica. Okay, 150 not out against England or the men's team winning a cricket World Cup. You get to choose between those. For you, 150 not out against England or the cricket World Cup is won by the men's team.
Well,
Is moeilijk. Is moeilijk. Wat gaan je zeggen?
the World Cup.
Ja, mooi. Dis 'n goeie antwoord. Ag, I'm so pleased. All right, and then finally, great female leaders. Jacinda Ardern van New Zealand af or Angela Merkel of Germany. For you, choose one.
The New Zealander.
Ja, prachtig. Beautiful, tremendous leader. I mean, it's only 12 people in New Zealand, but still good leadership. Just dit was mooi. Lekker om saam met jou I hate it when my teeth come out like that. It's the worst because sometimes what happens is a snort opens up. Yeah, you can laugh all you want, but it's not easy. This is my Tom Selleck snort. And now the teeth have come out. But it was so lekker om saam met jou te praat. And good luck, and wherever you go, however you get there, because at the moment you're on a road to nowhere in terms of getting to the 100 bliksem. But I think it's going to work for you. I see it. I'm sending good vibes. Tot weerziens. Daniel, kom terug. Bring ons je antwoord. Laat ons hoor. Hoi.
Bye, mooi meneer Van der Walt. That was a special moment for you there, Marizanne Kapp.
A very special moment.
And I love the fact that he's sending you good vibes. And of course, we're all on the internet, so I would take those to be digital vibes, but read that as you may. You asked me a question. You did get it right into the second, so we'll bump you up to 2.25 points because it was Fitzpatrick who is second on that list, although quite a distant second, 180 versus Goswami's 225. So a little bit of a gap there, and then you're not too far behind. So chasing on, which leads to the question. I know you've spoken a number of times about just how passionate you are about cricket, how much you can't wait to get stuck into your next tour, your next event, win more stuff, South Africa. How far do you see the cricket horizon going for you? And has there been a chance to start thinking, well, maybe once cricket's done, what will I be looking at after that?
Well, I think where I'm looking at the moment, the cap off would be at 35. Because obviously I'm getting older. I would like to have kids as well. Not like the men that can still start a family and you just go and play your sport. So yeah, it would be for those reasons. And yeah, hopefully one day I can come back and I would still love to stay within cricket and work within cricket. I'm doing a short course in fitness, so I would like to hopefully one day I can do something along the line as a fitness trainer / bowling coach in the women's setup, because I feel like as well, look, I don't mind men coaching the women's teams, but I would really like to see more women involved as well, and unfortunately we don't have a lot of that at the moment. So I really feel like I can contribute and help and learn a lot of the upcoming youngsters.
If you look, if you see both Alan and I just kind of almost slightly dazed there. We were having a conversation just last week, sitting in our weekly sauna, discussing the matters of the world. And as Alan was gently massaging my shoulders, we said to each other, you know what I see in the not too distant future? Marizanne Kapp coaching the South African men's cricket team. That's exactly what we said to each other, and you've pretty much said it's going to happen. So, Alan, we were right yet again, Alan.
Once again, like a veritable Nostradamus and Nostradamus, we were there. We foresaw it. Fantastic! I can't wait.
All right. Look, best of luck. Remind us which team you are playing for, and are you and Dane playing for the same team in the 100?
Yeah, the Oval Invincibles. She's actually my captain there as well.
Oh.
Like carry her bags and make sure her shoes are clean before the game.
No, Dane's the captain, but I'm the boss. So
Thinking like.
Oh dear, that is a brilliant note on which to wrap up. Marizanne, thank you so much, not just for joining us this evening when we finally had our power back, but also you've given us so much enjoyment as a cricketer, whether representing South Africa, playing abroad in the Big Bash. It's just a joy to watch you play. Our only request, and Alan and I, again, from our time in the sauna, the more Australians you bounce out, dismiss or hit for six, we'll be very happy in the 100. So please make a point of doing exactly that.
I will do that. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for.
Thank you, Marizanne. It's been a delight. Marizanne Kapp joining us on Two Full Tossers tonight. Just how many times do we say this, Alan Committie? But I think with added emphasis this evening, fabulous cricketer, even better person.
Just wonderful, and I'm excited now. Really, I'm looking forward to this 100. And listen, I'm still a little anxious about how they're all going to get there. Maybe they'll just play maybe they'll play 30% of the 100. And then do 70, and then maybe 10 in each of the countries. Maybe it's a mathematical thing that they have to work out. But I'm excited, and I think her and Dane are going to continue to do great things, and exciting to have them here. Much better than Kevin Peterson, I got to tell you now. Have we heard anything? Is he in the near future? We don't know. We know nothing.
Another 8 messages this week, but we've got very important cricket guests to have on. So
that's right.
Your time will come, son. Your time will come. As will the 100s. I've been feeling they might play it in Belgium, but that's just my seventh sense kicking in. That does wrap us up for another great week. Alan Committie, remind us your interminable show, which threatens to finish every week and then comes back again the following week after your extended family buy another 36 tickets. How much longer is it on for at this point?
2 more weeks here in beautiful Cape Town. This Friday night is sold out. This is Apocalypse now at Theatre on the Bay. Saturday night has about 30 tickets left, and then the final week is a Friday and Saturday for the moment, but watch out because we might add a Thursday and a Saturday matinee. So last number of shows, get your comp your ticket and come and see some silliness on stage. I might even show you pictures of Lee Barnard.
Look, on principle, I'm not going until you have a Tuesday morning show, which I'll be big hole in your schedule, but it is a terrific show. And if you don't believe me, just follow Alan's mum on social media. That does it for another terrific week. Next week, who's on the show? We've got absolutely no idea, but we will have plenty of fun with them. Thank you for joining us. This has been Two Full Tossers, presented this week by Dean Conway Immigration, helping you safely to New Zealand and into the national team of your choice. I'm Dan Nicholl. He is Alan Committie. Together with Two Full Tossers, we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.